All right, y'all, what's up? Tis I, Crystal, a science fiction author, creative content producer, entrepreneur, and this is the Mind of a Creative series where I take you through my journey starting out as a science fiction author and a creative content producer that will hopefully culminate in like everything I wanted to culminate in. So amazing things. I started this series because if you're new to it, hi. I started this series because, I mean, you go on YouTube and you see all these people who are like, this is how I became a millionaire. But they're always talking about how they became a millionaire, like, as they're a millionaire. Like, nobody ever starts, like, their YouTube videos, like, before they were a millionaire or fucking whatever their fucking goal is. And we're watching their YouTube videos because of it. So that's kind of what this video series is about me being honest and real and raw about my fuck ups and fumbling and figuring it all out in the process and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, today we're going to talk about shadow work. And how I do shadow work. And because I talk about it a lot on my Twitter, I'm always like, meditate, motherfucker, and like, AKA, do your shadow work and shit like that. So I wanted to make this quick video because I was compelled to do some shadow work today. I had, it wasn't a nightmare, but it was just a fucked up dream last night that put me all in like my feelings. I don't want to talk about it right now. Maybe I'll talk about it to my girlfriend later, but I'm not talking about it to y'all because that's not for y'all. But anyway, no offense to y'all. I love y'all. But I do want to talk about is the shadow work that I did earlier. And I just think it's important for as we're going through this to be like real and vulnerable. And if this helps someone who also wants to know like how to do shadow work or just how to process quote unquote negative emotions. And I say that term really lightly because a lot of the things that we call negative emotions, they're really not. I mean, anger is not a negative emotion. I don't think selfishness at times is not a negative emotion either. And I bring those up because I was just like Googling like, what is shadow work? Like, am I talking about what I think I'm talking about? And I think I am. Neither of those things are negative emotions. They're emotions that have a purpose. And I mean, you should be selfish with your time sometimes. You should be selfish with the boundaries that yourself. I mean, the most important relationship you ever have is with yourself. That's just true. It's not necessarily selfish, but a lot of people can call it that, especially, our anger is the same way. These are not negative emotions. They're emotions that have a purpose. But anyway, I ramble a lot. Just get used to it. I was watching a video on having a millionaire mindset and like how to have like a millionaire mindset. And I find, I used to make fun of all that self-helpy shit, but now I kind of, you find it a little bit useful. There are tips and tricks you can learn, especially if like you find the right video. And I didn't agree with all of it, but I got to the part where in the video she was talking about something, and as she was talking about this, I felt shame, and I felt it crawling up my back, and it almost like felt like it wanted to like hunch me over, and I wanted to just go sit on my couch and like hide underneath a blanket and stop thinking these dreams basically that I'm having, and kind of like it almost that feeling of like, nah bitch, this isn't for you, like go back to your lane kind of a feeling. So I was like, well, no, let me not just do like I do sometimes where I just sit in it and then I just feel fucking bad about it, or I just ignore it and I'll just fuck off and not deal with it. I'm like, let's actually work with this. And I actually learned this in therapy. So I know therapy isn't for everyone, but I think that I feel like everybody should go to therapy like at least a couple times, just because it gives you like tools to help you deal with your shit, is basically the long and short of it. And one of the things that my therapist did with me a lot, is she would ask me how I felt about something. So I wrote it down. I wrote down everything that when I was watching that video, how I immediately felt, like what that shame was bringing up. Because, okay, you just be like, oh, I feel shameful about this. But then I wanted to go a little bit deeper. I wanted to be like, okay, but why? Like, what inside of me, like, what is like the little girl Crystal, or the part of me that's wounded, really trying to express to me right now? And here's the things that I wrote down. I feel shame wanting to be a millionaire. I'm not supposed to want this. I don't deserve this. No one believes I can. I'm surrounded by people who are not like me. And then I wrote underneath that one felt unfair. So once we start with, I know a lot of people can like relate to these feelings, right? So once I started with this, and once what I used to do in therapy is, okay, she would be like, okay, that's how you, now what do you want to believe? And we'd kind of work back from there, and then I could talk about, well, I don't really want to believe these things about myself. That's really not where I want to be. So let's kind of address the wound at where it came from. So we're just going to go through these, and if this helps somebody today, I honestly, I hope it does. And just when you feel these emotions and kind of like, just it's not even just that you sit with them a little bit. A lot of people say that they're like, well, just sit in it, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm sitting in it, and I just feel fucked up. It's almost like you have to ask the wounded part of yourself what it needs to say. And for me, that's always been a little girl. That's always been a little girl who is hiding underneath the dining room table, who is terrified, who doesn't want to come out. That has that's always been kind of mine. And there are other wounded parts of me. Some are very angry, some are very kind of just apathetic. There's one is really fucking judgy. There's a lot of them, and I worked a lot in therapy, and I need to go back. I'm somebody, I need to fucking go to therapy. In like just helping them out. But it's the wounded child in me, that little girl, that I find kind of needs the most comfort, and she needs a lot of comfort for today. She needs that part of it just needs a hug. She needs me to pick her up and tell her that it's okay. And then to be afraid and to have these feelings. But anyway, like a whole therapy session on fucking YouTube, like whatever. Anyway, I wrote down what I wanted to believe. And so let's start with the first one, that I feel this shame in wanting to be a millionaire. And a lot of these come from like the top three, like I don't want you, like I feel shame, I'm not supposed to, I don't deserve it. They come from a scarcity mindset. And I think a lot of us can relate to how we grew up like this, where you grew up in a scarcity mindset. And it's not this isn't a blame thing. There's no fault to like your parents or like whoever or how you grow up. It's just the reality of it. We just grew up in a scarcity mindset, and even as adults, we're like literally surrounded by it. Just that beating in of our heads of like, there's not enough of this, we're running out of this. There's always, I mean, it's just being beaten into us. By the shit that we consume, right? So, you start with a kid and then you fucking adult, so whatever. It's a big fucking fucked up cycle. Anyway, we can get out of it. That's the solution based. Like this isn't. It does not have to be this way. So what I want to believe about myself is that yes, I can. There's no reason why I can't be. I want to believe that the shame that I have being a millionaire, that there's no shame in it. There is no shame in wanting abundance, especially because I don't want to just have fun. Like I absolutely want to have fun. I want to travel. I want to like fucking buy Legos and like fucking like fun like video games and shit. Like I don't really want a Bugatti, but I want like a stupidly large yacht because I love the fucking water. Like I want to be that person. Like whatever, just it's fun. Whatever, I don't give a fuck. But at the same time, I want to help people. Like I want to help so many people, and I just don't want to help people. Like this has been a big sticking point for me. I don't just want to help people. I want to help people help people. Like I want to help people help themselves so they can do the thing that they love. That's what I want. Like I want to be a millionaire so I can make a bazillion other people millionaires with no strings attached, like millionaires. Like if there were so many things that I wish I had as an entrepreneur that I want to give to people, like business coaches that you can afford that are free, or like money that comes with no strings attached but also comes with a financial advisor so you learn what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So you don't just give somebody like a bazillion dollars and then because they weren't taught like just good money habits or whatever, they just fuck it up. Like, it's like that extra step to help people. Like I want to do that. And it's still like you wouldn't have to, but it was like, this is here, so let us help you like manage this so then you can take this money and make more, you know what I'm saying? So there's no shame in that. There's no shame in me wanting to be this person, so I don't have to feel shame in that. That's what I want to believe and what I continue to work on when those feelings crop up. I'm not supposed to want this. right? It's a that's that stay in your lane type of feeling, you know, like this just isn't for you. And I don't believe that either. I think it's completely okay for me to want this. I don't see any reason why not. Especially because it's not like I want to fucking use this money and just hoard it and then fucking, you know, make, I know we've got this terrible, I think it's also because we have this terrible view of like millionaires, right? We think that if you've gotten all this money, you're a terrible fucking person. And that's kind of like, that's one of my deep like worries as well, because just keep, I could be a very arrogant person. That's totally probably like the Scorpio in me and like something else, but I can be like I was, there were moments as a child that I was arrogant. Um, and I'll never forget, I had a math tutor, and the woman looked at me and told me that I was a very arrogant child at one point. And that's just shit just people say to you, and it just sticks with you, right? She's probably right. I probably was arrogant little fucking shit when I was fucking like 10 years old or whatever. Um, but like, that's always been like my like fear, like that you have this and then it changes you and then you like become the thing that you hate, right? So maybe it's better that I don't want this, that I'm not supposed to have it, that I don't deserve it. So these are things that I have, that I'm working on unpacking. um but I think it'll be okay. And that kind of goes into the third one, that, you know, that I don't deserve this. And deserve feels very entitled, you know. You know, and God forbid we are entitled, but at the same time I think we all do. I think this, and I hate it. I hate it so much, this mindset that to have something you have to suffer for it. And I think we really need to get out of that. Or to have something, then we have to work 80 hours a week and be on that grind, and that's the only way that we'll actually fucking deserve this. Fuck that. Like, fuck that. If I could take 1,000 people's lives and make it so that they always had abundance and never had to grind, that'd be great. I mean, because we learn those lessons in other ways. We learn those lessons just by being human and having relationships and people and going after our dreams or whatever. Like, everything doesn't have to be hard. You know? Like, everything doesn't have to be a fucking grind. Like, I don't think we have to suffer or grind to deserve to live lives of abundance, where we can be in a space where we can just do what we want to do and heal people. I hate this mindset that we have, that there has to be this level of suffering, or this level of, I don't know, you have to sweat so many tears and bleed so much blood and, you know, do this, that, and the other, and then maybe you deserve this. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. I hate it. And I really want to just fucking stomp that mindset out. If I could, when I can, I should just say when I can be in a position that I can help people just literally sidestep that hurdle and get this system boot off of our neck. I God, we could just do so much if people just stopped believing that they had to suffer before they deserve something, and myself included. And I don't know, it's just a mindset that was just hammered into you. I feel like that starts at childhood too. Like, you watched your parents, right? They worked like hella hard for you. You know, they work so hard for you. So there's that mindset that if you want half of what they got, you gotta work that hard too. More now, because shit's more expensive, right? So it's a lie. It's a goddamn lie. It's a fucking lie. I'm tired of this lie. I hate this lie. So if I can stop anybody from having to live in this fear, this stress, this worry. There's so many people right now that are terrified because of the evictions being lifted. And there's so many, and it's just so fucking obvious who cares and who doesn't. And it's so fucking infuriating. So if you could make anybody's life better, so they didn't have to go through that, so they could just be who they wanted to be, why wouldn't you do that? I don't get it. Why would you say, no, sir, I can't help you. You did not work 60 hours this week. Sorry. No, sorry. You did not give me 3 vials of blood, therefore I cannot help you. What the fuck? What the fuck? So, anyway, okay. And then, kind of the last one is the last one that I'm not surrounded by people who are like me. No, that wasn't it. There was one before that. No one believes I can. Such a big lie. Such a big lie. I don't know. I kind of know why that I have this wound, but it's a huge fucking lie. It's such a fucking lie. So if you believe that lie too, sit down and really think about all the people who actually support you, because I guarantee there's someone, and it's someone you're overlooking because maybe they're not supporting you in the way that you need right now, but they're still supporting you, and or they still believe that you can do it. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe the person who believes in you isn't the person that you want to believe in you. That's right. So now you think that nobody does just because this specific person doesn't. And it's a lie. There's so many people who fucking believe in me, like my partner, and even my fucking brother, like, told me once, like, he told me drunk that he was proud of me for being an entrepreneur. And then he came into my room and he told me again when he was sober. He was like, yo, I said that shit. Yeah, it was such a nice moment. It was such a nice, you know. So there were just, I have so many people around me who do believe that I can do this. Um, so I, that's a, you know, it's just lies that we have, shit that happens to us that we have to just unpack, right? So I made a whole list. I have a whole fucking paragraph. It's like a whole list of people who, like, why this is not true. And I just have to remember that when I have those moments. The last one, feeling like there's no one around me like me. I have to remind myself of this a lot, and this is more that just, and I think that's why I wrote that this felt unfair, is because it's more that I'm still building my tribe. Like, there are people who I'm going to attract to me that just aren't here yet, and I think that I'm just impatient, I guess is the better, well, I'm obviously fucking anxious, but just impatient to have those people roll up. Because I'm just, my group is wonderful. I've talked about this on YouTube before. I have such a wonderfully supportive bubble of people around me, and I have to remind myself, because we get really caught up in, like, things that we want, and every day I say a little prayer of gratitude, and I have to remind myself to, like, expand that prayer of gratitude, to include the circle of friends that I currently have, because they're fucking amazing. What I want, I think, is people who are ambitious as I am, who really have that fucking, like, let's go get this drive, let's fucking do that, because that's what's kind of lacking now. Is there's a lot of talk when you're trying to be a millionaire to surround yourself with, like, mentors and people who are on that kind of, like, that quote unquote grind that you are, and you would like more of that, like people around you who are, like, where you're really, like, hyping each other up and, like, on that entrepreneurial spirit, I guess is the thing. Like, I've done this before. Like, I put up some quote, like, some ads on, like, my social media. I'm like, who here in the writing community is, like, trying to outsell J.K. Rowling? You know, because she fucking sucks. Fuck J.K. Rowling. Like, who here wants to, like, who here wants to outsell her? Who's trying to knock her off that top most book sold list? There were crickets. Either people just didn't see my tweet, which is probably, or just nobody had that, and that's just disheartening. You know, like, it's almost like, there's this weird thing, I guess, that it's always been an interesting argument to me about whether or not you're supposed to want to be great. And I don't know why you're not supposed to want to be. Like, I 1,000% want to sell more books than J.K. Rowling. 1,000%. I want to knock her off of every list she's ever been on. I do. I absolutely do. And there's a bazillion other things that I fucking want to do. And I just want to surround my people who have those, like, big, lofty, like, let's fucking change the world goals. I think that's really what I want to add to my already amazing fucking tribe, is those people who have those huge, like, let's like use the system to make the system obsolete, because it's trash. It is so fucking trash. I literally want to get to a place where people just ignore fucking what's happening, because not what's happening, that's the wrong way to say it, where people just ignore the bullshit because they are living their best life, and we don't need these other groups, organizations, governments to solve our problems, because we're just doing it. Like, we don't even need you. Like, this, it would be such a great day to be like, you know, fucking, you're not gonna get this fucking money that the SBA promised you, sorry, and then some fucking one of our fucking millionaire, you know, a couple of our millionaires steps in and says, we don't need them, we got you. Like, what do you need? Like, fuck them. Like, whatever. We don't even, like, fuck them. Like, let's just make this process easier. We've already set something up for you. Just go here to get it. Like, we don't need them anymore. Fuck them. That's what I want. That's at, like, big goals like that, where we're just solving things and we just don't need this bullshit anymore. Like, here's the problem. We fixed it. Done. Done. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. But anyway, I'm done rambling. If this helped anybody, I hope it did. So yeah, when you do your shadow work, when you're working with those parts of yourself that are dark or quote unquote dark, or that you just wounded parts of yourself or parts of yourself that you quote unquote just don't like. Um, Sometimes I don't like. It's not even that I don't like my ambition. It's just that it's always that fear that I need to stop comparing myself to others. That's really where my biggest thing is. I have to stop comparing myself to others. I have to stop worrying that because of this age and I haven't accomplished this goal by this age, it's never going to happen. Or I just need to accept that I'm a late bloomer, and that's that and the other. And I really do have to work on not comparing myself to other people, because it's so easy to get discouraged, especially when I'm watching these videos. A lot of it is my age thing. It really is. Watching these videos, I'm like, oh, you're a millionaire by 30. Must be nice. Good for you, motherfucker. Or people who just like figure this shit out like overnight and now they're got a bazillion. I'm just like, how? Who did you sacrifice? How? It's just, anyway, my journey is mine and I need to respect it. I need to be very grateful for where I am. And I am. I honestly am. Yeah, it's been rough. It's been a rough couple months. I'm in this current period of uncertainty that I hate, and I'm working on bringing more stability, which will help my brain. But yeah, it's just one of those. But anyway, make a list. If you're a writer journaling, I highly recommend journaling. Just when you feel those emotions, don't just sit in them. Explore them. Be like, okay, oh God. Be like, okay, I feel this way. Who needs to say something? Like, what little broken piece inside of me needs to have a voice today? Um, and hug that voice. I mean, hug that part of yourself. Like, just give them a hug. Give yourself a hug. Sometimes you gotta, get your teddy bear, get your blanket, whatever. Take like an hour. Just sit with that part of yourself and be like, yo, boo boo, what's wrong? Do it like you would talk to yourself in those moments, like you would talk to like a really good friend of yours who was having a really rough day. You would not, guarantee you probably would not talk to them the way you talk to yourself. Guarantee it. Guarantee, because you'd be an asshole friend, right? So yeah, just like boo boo, like what you, and sometimes it's hard to hear. That's why I like to write things down. I need to do more of this. I actually have 2 notebooks now. I have one notebook that is just my like happy joy notebook of intentions and all the beautiful things I wanna manifest for myself. And then I've got another notebook that's just like, sometimes I just have a lot of fucked up feelings and I need to express them. So I don't, road rage. So that's what that book is for. So this piece of paper go on that book, where I kind of just wrote down everything, the fucked up things, quote unquote, that I was feeling, and then what I wanted to believe about them. And this is not a one-time process. I'm sure I will have to do this again many times because life fucks us up. And that's just the long and short of it. But anyway, lots of good things happening. So there is that. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful for somebody. It's about shadow work. I've just rambled on for 20 minutes, and that is long enough. So like, subscribe. There's other shit on this channel that is not just this creative entrepreneur series. There is fan fiction, audio fan fiction. There are video book reviews, and there is the Crystal's Imagination talk show, which will be returning soon. I am looking for guests. If you are watching this and you have some recommendations, please sign off in the comments. I'm looking for guests who can talk about reincarnation, the Bermuda Triangle, crop circles, UAPs, cool shit like that, like mysterious places on Earth, what's really fucking underneath Antarctica, cool shit like that I love to like put that shit in my books. Fucking ley lines, aka dragon lines. Anybody who has like really extensive knowledge on this and can speak a little bit intelligently and bring these topics from their, oh god, art sitting on the floor, bring these topics from like their woo-woo states down to like, no, but there's seriously something to this and here's why. Like, I love that shit. So if you know anybody, you can recommend them, have them like DM me. They can shoot me an email. I have contact information in the about section. I'll put it down in the description as well. So that is that. And like I said, I wrote science fiction books. There's 2 of them. More to come. crystalsimagination.com. Like, subscribe, bell notifications, because it's not just me rambling. So I'm sure you will find something entertaining on this YouTube channel. That is it. I am out. Do your shadow work. Meditate, motherfuckers.